Hi guys, it's Rach. Today I wanted to have a little bit of fun playing around with a new product that I recently picked up. This is the Tarte Rainforest After Dark Coloured Clay Eye and Cheek Palette. It's a new offering from Tarte. It is limited edition out for autumn or the autumn-winter season in the Northern Hemisphere, and I recently picked this up from Bosa Beauty. I was really excited because Tarte isn't traditionally readily available here in Australia, but there is this new website and I was able to purchase it from there, and it came really quickly and I was really happy with the product, so I wanted to be able to play around, show you guys the product itself and also do a little makeup tutorial using it as well. So let's start by talking about the product itself. It has this really interesting snake design. You can see the packaging, all the products from this range have this kind of like purple snake skin motif going on, as well as a little snake design there. It is a plastic round disc case similar to the other palettes that Tarte have come out with. It does have this kind of chocolate wood-like finish on the front, as well as a foiled gold snake and a little purple crystal in the center there. Really cute packaging. If you're into snakes, I'm not, but I think it's still quite pretty. The packaging itself is quite sturdy, which I like. It also has a full-size mirror, not a lot of wastage in the packaging, which I think is good, and the mirror does hold itself up, so if you want to use this as your little mirror on your vanity, or if you're traveling like in the bathroom or something, you can. So it is a functional little palette there. The one thing I would say about the packaging, the one downside, is that the names of the products are just on this little sort of plastic thing here, which I would usually throw away, but as a YouTuber it makes it difficult for me to refer back to the names of the products if I don't have that. I wish they were just written on the packaging. That's probably the only downside I would say with the packaging itself. Within it you do get 6 eyeshadows, as well as a bronzer, a highlighter and a full-size blush. According to Tarte, this is inspired by Rainforest Deep Orchid Hues at Dusk. The limited edition eye and cheek palette has everything you need to create sultry and sophisticated day-to-night looks. It's infused with coloured clay, which naturally colour corrects as it supports oil control. This makeup provides longer wear and truer colour payoff. I will go through each of the products as we go along with the tutorial, but I did want to mention, because I know I'll get asked this and it's probably the top of everyone's list, pricing for this. The recommended retail price on Sephora is $38 US. On the Bosa Beauty website it is $65. Definite markup there. However, they do offer free shipping within Australia if you spend over $100, and I managed to do that because I also purchased the Lorac Pro and the Pro 2 palette. So if any of you guys are interested in those products as well, you can get them on the website, and I will link the products in the description box below so you guys can check them out, both the Sephora one for those of you who can order from Sephora and also the Bosa Beauty website. While yes, there was a markup, if you convert the $38 US into Australian dollars, that probably ups it to somewhere around $43, $44. Plus then if you were to use a mail forwarding service, they usually charge like a $15 fee to do it, plus shipping on top of that. So you probably aren't really paying too much of a markup whether you order it from Sephora or if you order it from this particular website. So now that we're up nice and close, I already have my base on. I am wearing the Chi Chi Fabulous and Flawless foundation because I'm in the middle of reviewing that. I will link that video at the end of this one, as well as in the description box if you would like to check that out. I'm going to start by finishing off the rest of my face. So the first product that we have here is the Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. This is a standard product and I believe it comes in both a matte and a shimmer or some kind of like satin finish formula. This is the matte finish, which I think is great. This is a cult product, one of my favorites from Tarte. It's a really nice bronzer. It's not too orangey, it is warm tone, but it's not too orange, and that matte finish means that it'll be suitable for sort of all skin types. You can use it a little bit to contour, although generally I would say it's not really a contouring product because it is warm toned, but it just gives a really nice finish to the skin. One thing I would say is that it's a nice bronzer for sort of light, fair light to medium skin tones, but I think if you're getting on the darker side, this might be a little bit light for you. However, it is definitely buildable, and as you can see, it is quite pigmented there. I would say that maybe one downside of this packaging is that because of the shape of the products, particularly these face products, you will need to use a smaller brush, otherwise you're going to end up with, you couldn't use a really big bronzer brush, you're going to end up with half the other products on there as well. But for me, I would usually use this kind of size brush, so I don't find that to be an issue. Moving along, the next product we have here is a highlighter. This one is called Champagne. I don't have this one myself, but I do believe that you can buy it as a standalone product. It has a really nice soft kind of yellow gold finish to it. Think the Balm's Mary Luminizer, maybe slightly toned down, but a very nice highlighter. And both of these products you could use on your eyes as well. So they're adding to the 6 eyeshadows. You could definitely use these, and this is a color that I definitely would use as potentially as an inner corner highlight, and also maybe just right under the brow bone as well. This highlighter definitely has some oomph to it, so those of you who prefer your matte highlights or your very subtle highlights probably aren't going to like this one, but I do think that it's very, very pretty. While we're at it, I think I might pop a little bit of this on my inner corner as well. Popping a little bit under the brow. Next we have the blush in the center. This is a matte blush. It's described as a nude rose color and it's called Unleashed. I don't believe that this is one that you can get standalone, and you do get 0.21 ounces of product. I do have a full size one of their sort of standalone blushes, and this is a 0.2 ounce product. So this is actually even slightly larger than a full-sized blush, which I think is great value because it means that for the $38 or the $65 that you're getting, you are getting definitely value for money from this set. I'm going to pop a little bit of that blush on just using my Zoeva Luxe Sheer Cheek Brush. It's a really pretty neutral wearable colour. Gives a nice sort of flush to the cheeks, and I think it would suit a lot of skin tones as well, which just makes the palette that much more versatile. One thing I would say is that the powder products seem to be quite hard packed, which means that for some of them I feel like I've had to kind of work a little bit to get the products out, almost like they've got a bit of a seal on them. So they're all definitely pigmented, but for some of them you almost need to kind of scratch at the surface a little bit just to get the product really going, which means they'll probably seem more pigmented as you use them, as you sort of kind of wear away that initial kind of covering or seal that they seem to have on them. Okay, moving on to the 6 eyeshadows. I love this particular colorway featuring some purple and lilac colors. You've also got your more neutral shades as well. There are a mix of both shimmer and matte shades. We have 3 matte shades here. These 2 here seem to have a satin finish with a little bit of glitter in it, and then this gold shade seems to be a little bit more shimmery. It seems to almost have a metallic finish. I think maybe if you used this wet you could get a little bit more of a foil look to the eyeshadow. Starting this side here we have Bare to Explore, then Make a Mauve, Plum Away With Me, Up to No Gold, Tangled Up in You, and Don't Turn a Brown. So I'm going to start with Bare to Explore, just popping this on a fluffy dome brush and applying this all over the lid and sort of blending it up towards that brow highlight that we placed earlier. This is quite a nice light colour. I would say that the one thing that this might be missing is a matte highlight shade. This still has some definite pigmentation to it, as you can already see on my eye there. So for those of you who are fairer, this is probably not light enough to be a highlight shade. For those of you who have darker skin, then this could probably work quite well as a matte highlight. But a really nice sort of blending out colour. Next I'm going to take a smaller crease brush. This is the Buff and Blend E39 from Sigma and the Tangled Up in You shade. And I'm just going to start working this into the crease. These don't seem to kick up too much powder. I do think there may be a tiny bit of fallout, but not a lot. It looks like I had a little bit of glitter on my brush. Bad Rachael for not cleaning them, so I seem to have transferred a little bit of glitter to this look. This is a matte shade, but I have added a little bit of extra sparkle. That's okay, we'll just work with it. Sticking with that same brush, I'm going to take a little bit of this Don't Turn a Brown, tapping up the excess, and I'm just going to work this into the outer corner. Just placing it for now. This is quite a dark shade, so I could see me using this as an alternative for a eyeliner if I wanted to travel with this palette and not take too many extra products. They seem to be applying quite nicely. This darker shade seems to be slightly patchy, but not too hard to work with. Just going in with a clean brush, and I'm going to start blending that out a little bit. Just pulling that further into the crease. Going back onto the lid, I'm going to take a little bit of this Make a Mauve shade and just use this to blend that darker shade that we applied with the original base lid shade. Kind of keeping this to the center portion of the lid, not going any further across. This shade does have some kind of pearlescent reflex in it. Lastly, for the lid, I'm going to take my pinky finger and a little bit of Up to No Gold just on the center of my eyelid, just for a little bit of a highlight. Keeping it quite low to the lash line. Okay, overall I would say that all these shades have medium to buildable pigmentation. Probably not the most buttery eyeshadows I have ever used before, but they certainly were able to blend. They didn't blend out to nothing, and they had decent colour payoff. Overall, I think that they're quite good quality eyeshadows. Probably not the best that I've ever used before, but certainly not the worst by any means. And for a palette that comes with such wearable shades and such a practical range of shades, given the highlight, the bronzer and the blush, something that I could wear over and over again, something that I could wear for both daytime and nighttime, and the variety of looks that I could get by using all these products for my eyelids as well. I think this is a really, really functional palette. That's my initial thoughts. It's highly functional, something that I could definitely see myself traveling with. I do want to add a pop of purple, so I'm going to line my lower lash line first using the Essence Long Lasting Eyeliner Pencil in Berry Mary. Then I'm going to take the Wayne Goss No. 7 brush and Plum Me Away, and I'm just going to work this into my lower lash line. This is a really, really pretty purple shade. It's not too purple, it's not too pink, it's just that perfect plum. And I think if you have brown eyes or hazel eyes, to be honest, purple actually works really well with pretty much all eye colours. You're going to find that you really like this palette, and I love that it's not just neutral, that you do have that pop of colour there, but that colour is still quite a wearable shade. I'm just dragging that purple about 2/3 of the way in. Taking Don't Turn a Brown just on the outer corner, just to sort of pull the top and the lower lash line together. Then blending that all out with a tapered brush and a little bit of Make a Mauve. Just going to finish up the eyes by curling my lashes and applying some mascara. This is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Volume Mascara. So that's pretty much the finished look using the Rainforest After Dark palette. I am going to put a little bit of lipstick on. This is L'Oreal's Fairest Nude lipstick, just so we can round off the look. So that pretty much concludes this video. Overall, I have to say that I would give the Tarte Rainforest After Dark Eye and Cheek Palette a big thumbs up. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think overall it had good pigmentation, it has a good range of colours, it is great for travelling, it has a nice variety of looks that you can create with the product, and it has a decent amount of product for the price that you are paying for it. One thing I did want to mention is that I have tried these eyeshadows before and I found they had decent longevity. I do use a primer because I do have oily eyelids, but overall I was able to get probably about 4 or 5 hours wear, maybe a little bit more, without any creasing, which I think is quite good for me. With a primer I was able to make them last all day, and bar a teensy tiny little bit, I didn't really notice any creasing at all. So I'd give them a fairly good rating for the overall wear of the products as well. Make sure you check the description box below where I'll have links to where you can purchase the product, as well as I'll list the price and all the other important information again in case you missed it throughout this video. Other than that, I'm going to go. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye!